A couple of days ago we went down to Warnborough Beach to have a look and see what was going on. Found there was some nice yellowfin whiting running down there. So we're heading down ourselves, got the fishing gear out. A little grey this morning, but give it a go. And apart from the normal filming, which I usually do, and this one is going to be filmed all on the phone, so it's probably going to be pretty awful. I've never done this before. I'm not taking any of the proper cameras. So we chucked all the fishing gear in the car, got the rods, and on top we got our little beach trolley that we carted all down to the beach in. That saves carrying everything. So we're going to see how everything goes and see if we can come back with a few whiting this morning. Well, the flies are friendly down here this morning, that's for sure. A bit puffed after bringing the trolley down over the sand, but not too bad once you're on the hard stuff. Head up here a bit. The surf's a little bit more active than it was the other day when we were down here. Whew. Shows you how unfit I am. Shouldn't be puffing like this. It's one of the reasons we're trying to get out more, get some more exercise. Now, using a very simple rig this morning. It's not a typical whiting rig, it's just a rig we use a lot. Just a long shank hook with a swivel, snap swivel, so that we can change things quickly, and a small weight. And that's about it. A lot of people use a double rig, paternosters and that sort of stuff, but we tend to use very, very simple stuff. So we'll give that a go first, see if we get any bites on that. If they start biting, then what we'll do is try some of the fake worms. And I've even got my little whiting lure here. So got a few things to try. We'll see how it goes. And I've got to keep an eye on that water because it's very flat here. Thankfully the trolley keeps your gear up above the surf, so if it does happen to come in here, nothing gets washed away immediately at least. And I missed that one, but with Dorothy's first cast, she got the little whiting here. So looks like they're on the bite. Time to get serious and stop filming and catch a few fish. As there's only a couple of worms in each packet, they're fairly short, you've got to be a bit sparing with the way you put the bait on. So all we're doing is putting on little pieces like this, or even half that size, and it works. The whitings still go after it, but very little bait in these packets, and for $5.50, woohoo! That's bloody expensive in my book. Well, my first cast ended up with my worm being pinched, so I'm going to switch now to the fake worms, give those a go, see what happens with that. So just baiting that up as I would an ordinary worm on the long shank hook, hoping that the old whiting will come along and swallow that down and get himself hooked. It's just a bit sad that the swell this morning is a bit high. So it's making fishing very difficult. You really want to get out beyond that sandy area where it's all stirred up, just a bit beyond that. and that's usually where you find the whiting, and it's increasingly difficult to do that. Plus I think we're on a rising tide this morning as well, so it's pushing us back up the beach away from the deeper water. Well, the fake worm really didn't do very much. It wasn't a great experiment, and no bites at all on that. Definitely getting bites on the real worms, so we're going to try those again. The swell at the moment is a bit of a pain in the ass. It's stronger today, so with these light baits it's moving them around an awful lot, and the difficulty is there's a lot more sand in the water, so we've got to get out beyond that to get to where the whiting are feeding. They're there all right, but it's just a matter of getting out beyond all that sandy muck. So going to put a bit of burley in the water. We make our own burley, just a mixture of plain flour and tuna oil mixed with tuna cat food. Mix it up into a nice paste, and then we vacuum seal it and freeze it so we can bring out a small amount whenever we need it. So we'll whack some of that in the water. Hopefully that'll attract the fish a bit more, and I go back to using some real worms. Now when you mix up your burley properly, you end up with this nice plasticine-y, soft, stretchable mixture. A lot of the stuff you buy in the stores is just going to fall apart and be very crumbly. Now the way we make it, we end up with this lovely, soft, very pliable, very stretchable mix. And with that, that's actually a brilliant bait for garfish. If there's any garfish around, they love this stuff. And as I say, it's a mixture of fish oil, plain flour and cat food tuna. You just mix it all up. We put it in a grinder usually. If you've got any prawn shells, things like that, they're brilliant. You whack those in, put it in your food processor, zip it all up together, and you end up with this wonderful mixture. And you can easily put that onto a hook, and it'll stay there long enough for the fish to get really interested in it. And as I say, we catch garfish on that all the time. That's how we get our garfish when we're up north. And we have caught them down here too, but we haven't done as much garfish fishing down south. We use garfish up north for Spaniard. So we put those out on float lines, and the Spaniards absolutely adore them. With the burley, all you do is just pull off little tiny pieces, roll them up and feed them into the water one after the other. Just tiny little bits, well, even half of that would do. You just drop them into the water at your feet, and just that helps to put the smell in the water. And if there are any fish around, they should be attracted to where you are. Now I hope you can hear me over the waves here, but it's just a matter of slowly feeding that in as you're fishing. Just drop it piece by piece, drop a few bits, wait a few minutes, and then do it again. Well, unfortunately this morning the waves are just a bit too rough to continue. The whiting are definitely here. We caught a couple of decent sized ones, but not worth continuing when the water's like that, trying to fish with light tackle. Needed a bit calmer, so we're going to head down to Mandurah and look around, see if we can find any sand flats, any areas we can find that are worthwhile looking for some worms. We have no idea where to look, so I think probably the estuary mouths of the river, the Murray River there somewhere. If we can find a spot, we'll go and have a squeeze anyway, see what we can find.